Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. If you have any questions as we go through this webinar, please type them into your questions box on your screen, and we'll be sure to get those answered by the end. And with that being said, I'll kick it over to Koerber, who is the Chief Operating Officer of P3 Propane Safety.
Thanks for joining us today. We'll keep this standard format, so about 20 minutes, maybe less. Hopefully very useful content. Thank you for joining us. Feel very grateful for Ed Otis from Star Group, who's a regional manager and one of the most passionate people we know regarding propane safety. So Ed, thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you for your comments, Cal. Glad to be here.
And Ed has a long history with P3 and excited to talk a little bit about P3's automated reporting. This was a new functionality that we released last year, and we're going to continue to develop it. You know, some people have been asking for this for a while, and it's interesting because people are like, "Oh, can you email me when something goes wrong or when the documentation isn't right?" Well, you know, no, because you'd get a million emails, but we can provide some reporting on you. You don't want to see everything that might need to occur with respect to a best practice. Yeah, we'll step through. I'll share my screen. We'll look at the automated email, how to set it up, how to edit it, and how it works and what's available now and what we're going to do in the future. And Ed will talk a little bit about how Star Group is using it in particular. So, all right, well, let's take a peek and we can go to P3. So right now, this automated reporting is only available to our multi-location partners. So if you are a single location and you want this reporting, please contact us. Let us know. We think it would be a good fit, and we think that people in single locations would like to see this, but we've also built things that we think are good ideas that no one uses. So if you do want to see it and you do just have one location, please let us know. So basically how this works is if you have multiple locations, teed at the top will be your roll up of your location. So this is test. We're gonna select test, and then from here, our automated reporting is available for a few reports. Probably the most important is your field reporting. So this is the field performance report, and here we are able to see our location, the manager, our field work that occurs, the photo inspections, and then what sort of issues we're seeing. This is a test account here, so all 0%. I will say I see some of my clients, they'll have a number of locations on P3, and let's say that the priority follow-up percentage. Remember, this is relating to your photo reviews. How many are identified for a priority follow-up? For branches that might have somewhere between, some have 14% and some have 0. My guidance to them is it probably should be somewhere in the middle, maybe not 14% and not 0. There are some errors that you're going to have to deal with. And then on the right, we see the current dashboard status: priority follow-up, review of comments, leak check issues. Okay, so to set up your automated emailing, click on email report. And you have the ability here to email at one time or to set up create a recurring or manage a recurring. So this one I've already set up as a demonstration that we can look at managing a recurring. So if we wanted to manage a recurring, you can see it's set up to go weekly. It's going to go to myself and Emma. Subject field reporting. If I wanted to do any editing, I click on here. Weekly, Mondays, 9 a.m. So this is a really good one to you want to see how your locations are doing. Once you get people dialed into this report, our experience is that you don't want to be the worst. So start it up, start using it, understand it, and definitely bring it into your management practices. The other reports that we have available, we do have your meter creep. So this is, showing your meter creeps. Here we see AAA, 47 bobtails with only 2 current. They've got some work to do, but not as much as work as Boston Environmental with 141 active bobtails and 2 current recipients. So again, to set this up, we're going to click on email. Well, first off, I can click on current recipients. So you can see these are the ones that are already set up with this report. Tim and Jane. I'm gonna create another one. Email report. We're gonna create a recurring this time. I'm gonna call this the weekly or let's do monthly, right? That'd probably make more sense. Monthly bobtail reporting, and we'll do the same thing for the subject line. We'll do the same thing for the subject line. Put myself on there. We're going to say monthly, and we're going to do 9 a.m. the first Monday of the month. Save it, and now it's set up. So if you're using meter creeps, this is a really good one. Keep everyone, needs to happen on a monthly basis. We'll look at the next one that's available is your bulk plan. So for your bulk plans, what you're going to have to do is move from this map view to list view. And here with our reporting, we're showing your total plans, your monthly status, either current or expired, your annual status, either current or expired, and if there is follow-up required. Same thing, you can export. Oh, I did not mean to export that. You can email the report, and you can set this up as a one-time email, or you can create a recurring. And lastly, you can also set up your user activity. So this is a really good one to gauge, are people dialed in? Are they meeting your expectations? Really for your field users, best practice, they should be logging into P3 every morning with a connection and logging out in the evenings. So this is a really good report. Keep hitting export. Email, same process. You can set it up, email at one time, or you can set it up to be recurring. And we can see here current recipients. Okay, so Tim has set this up. Looks like it's just going to himself. And you can see the companies that he's chosen. So that's a snapshot of the functionality. Ed, can you talk a little bit about how which automated emails are you utilizing, and how is that working out for you?
We're using just about everything available. We haven't fully invested into bulk plan, into meter creep yet, due to some separations within our operation. We want to use it. We're going to use it. The field reporting, we use that every week. That's mailed out to everybody in operations and everybody that's overseeing dispatching techs to jobs. It really gives us a snapshot from that 30,000-foot view with the number of companies we have on of what's going on, not only in the field, but in the office. The percentage of priority follow-ups you mentioned is a great barometer. I hold a slightly higher standard. I'd like to see 3% or lower, but it's really good as work picks up and you see that number bump up. And I talked to the regional training manager in that area. Is there a new employee, which could be a quick identifier to a new employee that needs coaching, or an employee that did a specific task that they're not used to doing that they need to be coached on. So it really helps you hone in if there's somebody in there that needs help. And then obviously if we see a problem there, we go to your reports for field activity and we can see who the employees are that are having problems. And on the other side, the office side of that report, what's going on in the dashboard, are they effectively resolving issues? That's really helps us keep locations focused, especially with the color coding. Green 30 days, which is the expectation if they were audited and they found something we need to correct to the customer's house. We want to get that done within 30 days. Obviously, at this time of the year with the cold weather, we might hit over 60 or 90 days. And that's harder to get into the customer's house. It helps us keep them focused. You think about someone coming out to your house and doing some work, they call you back a week later and say, hey, you know, our manager looked at the work. We want to make sure that regulator is right for you. Okay, come on out and take a look. 3 months go by, they're not going to be too much of a rush to get you in the house. So it helps us at a higher level stay focused on the operations and make sure we're getting out to the customers. We use it weekly with other internal reports, watching our accounts and stop codes for accounts and stuff. So it's very useful. The company as a whole has come to expect it every week and look for it because they know where everybody's standing.
That's yeah, what I'm seeing, and no one runs P3 better than Star Group. I mean, Ed is, and that, you know, his safety team and all the operations. I mean, everyone buys into it, but Ed's really the champion of it. And I think having that someone like Ed within your organization to really drive things is really important. In my experience as we're working with clients, after we train your field team will use the mobile service. They'll use it. They'll be cruising on it. It's the management team that needs focusing. And so to Ed's point, this current dashboard status here, is so important. And what I say to all of our clients is, I want you to have a clean dashboard. This is a test account. So and I want you to have a clean dashboard, because imagine if something really bad was in your dashboard, but you never got to it because there is so much noise here. And it doesn't take a lot of effort on a day in, day out basis to make that happen. I think a best practice that we always say, you come in the morning, you have your morning coffee, log into P3 and look at the work that occurred in the field and give your field team feedback. They're going to appreciate that. And if you give them, just like Ed noted, the customer is going to receive that much better in real time. So it's going to be your field team. And, you know, if you got a new employee that is installing the wrong type of regulator or setting containers too close to building openings, I mean, good God, it's right here. If you can just build it in as part of your daily process, it's going to be a lot more valuable for you.
Yeah, you made a couple points, Kyle, and I think I started with P3 back in 2010 or 11, and when I was trying to sell it to my company as to what I wanted to do in the vision, from the get-go, it was someone has to be in charge of this or it's going to fail. It's great to have your electronic paperwork, and if that's all you want it for, you're kind of missing the advantages of improving your quality of service to your customers. But yeah, if somebody's not charging this and pushing it along, it's not going to be successful. So it's not just myself. You know, we have an entire team, and we have many districts that are wholeheartedly involved in this. Work very hard to resolve any issues that come up, and coaching is so important. When you get that report and something hits that dashboard, if you don't coach the employee, you're going to repeat the same offenses. So it gives you the tools you need to be a better company and a better service provider.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I feel what the other analogy I make is, like, for people in the field, P3 is going to be almost like a hammer is to a carpenter. You know, it is so complicated to do things the way they should be done and to meet all of your NFPA requirements, that to have help with that, man, that is such a good thing. And certainly, yeah, the more attentive, it's incremental. It's you know, what I also emphasize with people is, like, look, if you're not using P3, you're making mistakes today that we would help you avoid if you're using P3.
Right. Even if you think right now you have the best people in the field, you'd be surprised what you find. And to touch on your comment about managers, if I today told all of our field employees we were going to take P3 away, I'd probably have a revolt on my hands. They want it. It's easy for them. It's electronic. If I told the managers the same thing, they probably wouldn't push back. And that's the selling point. It just doesn't apply to this. It applies to safety in general. Getting managers to make sure they're enforcing your safety policies and procedures, probably the hardest thing in the industry to get done. And this is about safety. and getting the managers to focus. And they have a lot to focus on, don't get me wrong, especially with the weather we're having. A lot of pressures on managers. Doesn't matter whether you're a big company or a small company, we're trying to service customers, but we can't lose sight of safety, because if this goes wrong, things go really wrong for customers and employees.
Yeah, but that balance between safety and operations, I mean, so you can't do safety 24/7. I mean, you got to deliver product to make money to invest in it. But striking that balance, I think, is a real challenge for the industry.
Right, and another point for that is, as you're headed through the summer and the fall, if you're paying attention to this and you're coaching employees at that time, it makes these times much easier to cruise through, because your employees know the expectations and the parameters of properly doing their job.
Totally. So you mentioned you're using the bulk plant report as well. What frequency are you guys sending that out?
Bulk plants are going out monthly. We just, as you know, you just rolled this out a few months ago. We embraced it wholeheartedly. We got annuals done at every location. We're also a monthly inspection process. That's not the full annual inspection. So overview of the plant on this day, you know, everything is safe. I have no leaks. My fence and security, everything's in good shape. We're doing that every 30 days, and that's the barometer. Our team does annuals, the districts don't. So our team goes in once a year, does annuals and training, and we expect the districts to maintain their monthly inspections. So we're pushing this out monthly, and it's not a drop dead monthly. So, you know, this time of the year, if you did the 15th of last month and you're in this weather, we understand, it's fine. But we're looking for you to stay within that 30-day range, that you've been looking at your plant, everything is safe and fine. And nationally, there was just a security alert down in Maryland. Some pictures were being taken while someone was loading a bobtail at a rail yard. It was a national security alert over propane. And knowing that our locations did their inspections, their fences are in good shape, the cameras are in good shape, by the click of a button, was very useful to us.
That's great. Yeah, I think that it feels like to me that the industry oversimplifies bulk plants. I mean, what an incredibly important part of your company assets to keep safe. And of course they're going to need maintenance. Of course things are going to need to be replaced. And I think sometimes that just doesn't, I feel like it gets oversimplified sometimes by, in some places, you know, where they feel like, oh, you know, if whoever's in charge of that, they got it, you know, they got this. Well, there's a lot to that, and there are stuff that you're gonna have to track and upgrade, and you know, there's a lot of moving parts, especially if you have a number of these bulk plants.
And even if you have one, the fact that you can put pictures in the middle of your inspection, so I greased my pump this month, we have a picture of this happening, very useful. And if just something's wrong, you need some repairs, to have them pictures can be very useful when you get an estimate of whatever you have to do. The follow-up tracking is great. So we're all into it. It's definitely making it a lot easier for us to understand and quickly see what's going on with our bulk plants, make sure we're compliant. And like anything else, the same thing with your field work applies to your bulk plants. You think someone's doing it like Kyle says, you have to inspect what you expect, but probably not happen the way you think it is.
Yep, totally. And then lastly, you also are sending out this user activity report?
User activity report is great for us with our operations. We have terminals that can be close to each other but operated independently, and be able to have them cross over through the mobile application, work in another district is great. But when I get a call with the number of users we have, I got to figure out, does this person already have access to that location? What does this person need? The search feature on this is really good, because if I put in Alan, I'm gonna get everybody with the name Alan and find them. So even if I have partial information, I can very quickly, even on the road on my mobile phone, find out who this person has access to. Do I need to get an access upgrade and get them access to a location? So it's very good for managing the people. And we push very hard for the cell phone numbers, especially with our operations. I personally don't want to be taking a call during the Super Bowl to set someone's password up. So making sure we have cell phones in there and they can reset is another thing we use the report for, to make sure everybody's doing what we expect.
Yep. Okay, that's awesome. Well, thanks, Ed. Great to see you using this functionality. Hope that it's going to benefit all of you on the call and our client base in general. And we're going to keep investing in this. So if people have ideas of automated reporting that they would like to see, please contact us. Let us know. We think that this is going to continue to be that we're going to continue to invest in it, and it's going to be valuable for our clients. Any other last thoughts you have, Ed?
No, the reporting is incredible. You think about the amount of data that you people are collecting in the field. If you're not using it, you're really missing something. Not only on the compiled reports, but on the side reports on every category. We dive into them a lot. Cathodic, I can't wait for you to put cathodic up in this category, that I can see all my locations and all the inspections out there that are available to be done, depending upon your operation. If they custom-owned tanks, it's revenue. So I'm waiting for that one to come up. I'm excited for that.
All right, we're on it. I hope Alex heard us.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Ed. Well, thank you. Emma, are there any questions?
Yes, I have one right here. Can I send reports to some of my plants, but not all, breaking them out by regional manager?
Yes, you can do that. When you email reports, let me see, we can hit this filter button right here, and that's going to allow you to break it up however you want.
Right, so, yep,
filter. And are you doing that, Ed? You must be doing this.
Yeah, for certain locations, and it's something I see us starting to use as I head into the summer. Being able to filter by, because we are broken out by regional vice president, so we'll be able to send each vice president their own report. They all do a weekly conference call with their teams, so being able to give them their individual report before that call, I'm going to see as a big benefit. And the benefit to the system you have now is some are on Monday, some on Thursday, some are on Friday, so I can set them up to go to that person right before they call.
Yeah, totally. I think that makes a lot of sense, regionalizing it. All right, Emma, anything else?
That was the only question we had come through.
Okay. All right, well, we're a little bit over 20 minutes. Again, if you have thoughts, thank you for joining us. If you have thoughts, you have ideas, you want to hear them, would this be, let us know. You're a single location, you would really like this, great, we want to hear that. Or you're multi and you have you're like, maybe you're thinking like Ed, when the heck are you guys going to consolidate cathodic? What we try to do with our development time is really whatever is going to benefit the most clients. So please let us know what you think, and thank you all for joining us. Ed, thank you so much. We're very grateful.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, Emma, thank you so much, and have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.